Well, hello, welcome back to the channel. Kev Knight's here from Vision Prestige. Thanks for coming back. It's going to be a different one. It's going to be one that I didn't think that I would be making for about 5 years, if I'm completely honest with you, because just over there is our Tesla Model Y. No idea where all them have just turned up from. Anyway, so if you're now watching this video and it's one of the first ones you've watched from our channel, I would be thinking, if I was you, Kev, you could have tidied up before you started filming. Well, I'm going to be honest, this is such an off-the-cuff video that the new owner of this car is in the office now. He's just come here to pick it up, and we've asked him if, one, he wouldn't mind going on the channel, because sort of there's no getting around this. Is a bit of a monumental shift in the world of car ownership. There's no question about that. So we asked him if he would ask questions, which I want to ask him, and he was a bit reluctant. He hasn't really said yes yet. It's just so hopefully we'll get him on the channel in a minute. But so what we'll do, we'll get this out of the workshop, and then we'll come back in a sec. So here it is, and if you haven't seen the video of us going to buy this car, I'll just give you a very quick overview of what it is. This is a 2023 Tesla Model Y. This is the long range edition. This is the all-wheel drive, so it's the dual motors front and rear, so it's four-wheel drive. It's classed as the long range one because it has got over 300 miles of range. We're going to come back to that because I'm already confused about it, I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely not an expert on these cars, but it has somewhat educated me onto the reality of them, and that is sort of why I've decided to try and make this video. I apologise if it's a little bit rough, and it's going to be even rougher in a minute when we get the customer to come out, but I'm not sure when we'll have another one of these, so arguably this was going to be the best time to do it. I mean, there's no getting around the fact that that's a good looking car. As far as I'm concerned, that is a very lovely car. We've been really lucky. We've found a stunning one, which when we were asked to get one of these cars, there was only really one that I wanted to buy, and I wanted to buy a one owner, privately owned, privately bought. I didn't want to buy one that had been a lease car, because the way I see it, if you're spending 60 grand on a car for your own personal use, you're going to look after it. That's the way I see it. If it's a company car, do you look after it? Maybe not. If you didn't pay for it, you're going to worry about looking after it? Maybe not. I wanted a privately owned one, and that's what we found. I'll just let Claire do her thing. Right, so here we are. This is our... Now, I might talk to you in a manner which sounds matey, but that's genuinely because we've known each other for like 20 years. Let's be honest here, isn't it? So
yeah.
So there is an element of trust here. The reason why I want to ask this person questions about this car is because he's sort of just now going through, I'm gonna spring this on you a little bit, because you're sort of now going through the change from this car, which is arguably probably one of the last reliable internal combustion engines out there, which I would sort of say. It's a 2016, and on a couple of videos before we've sort of realised that 2015 and before, probably before that actually, is sort of a sweet spot for reliability. And you have had this for, how long you had this for?
Yeah, 5 or 6 years I think it's been.
So you've had it for a long enough time to think, what am I going to replace it with?
Yeah, it's been a question for a good year, I think. Yeah.
Well,
because it's always been, you know, you're going to end up throwing 10,000, something like that, the next, you know, upgrade or whatever, no matter what you get for it, and then it opens up a certain window of amount of vehicles that you can buy, and then you start thinking, well, I don't want to buy a load of trouble, you know, and that has not been any trouble at all. We've literally just serviced it every year, and that's it. It's been the perfect car, really. And it's had the kids climbing over it and all sorts. And the
climbing
wife
over
drives it, in
not
it, over it.
I didn't check the roof.
Very carefully, obviously, but no. And it has. We don't do an awful lot of mileage, but it's never missed a beat. So that's kind of like what anyone wants from a car, you know.
Yeah.
I'd like it to be probably a bit more exciting, you know, as you know, we've had some cars over the years that have been a bit more exciting than that, but
it's a family car, isn't it?
It's a family car. Yeah, it's a great size. It's done its job, and it's sort of paid for itself probably a few times over, you know.
That leads on to how has this come about? I need to know the fundamentals behind the decision to go from that to that, because I now feel like this is getting quite common. I feel like
I suppose it's mainly to do with, you know, I suppose it is the new version of that, you know, one way or another. However you look at it, that, you know, that is the evolution of the combustion engine into an electric vehicle, you know. Whether we like it or not, it's kind of, we've been forced into that sort of thing. Whether that's the best solution or it isn't, then you know, that's kind of up to people's opinion. But the problem with that and the newer ones of that, they don't seem to have got any better. They seem to have got more problems. And I think the problem is these days as well, the more you know about them, the more you read about them, the less likely you are to choose one, because they're just, you know, you don't want to buy yourself a headache, you know. And then you read sort of the reviews on these, you know, like 23, 24, these were the best selling cars in the world, and you don't hear of too many problems with them, you know. And whereas if you look at any of the other brand, you know, not just obviously the Koreans, the Germans and all, any of them, they all seem to have problems. You just have to, it's so difficult to find the right one anymore, you know. And with these, they make it quite easy for you to a certain extent, because they all come fully spec. There isn't the bottom spec that you don't want. There isn't the, you know, you generally do, they cover all the bases. And I do think with my decision, I didn't want a combustion engine car with an electric engine in it. I wanted something that was bespoke made, with all the toys, bells and whistles, and all the bits to sort of, you know, think you're spending the, you know, the money that you are on them, you know. And
so you didn't want a hybrid?
I just think it's just double the pain, really. I think it's just like more things to be a problem, you know. So
that's weird. It's, I actually quite like hybrids. I like the idea that if the battery, which I have no idea about, do I trust them? I don't know. I like the idea if that fails, still got an engine under the bonnet, which I can start up and get me home. I like that idea.
Yeah. But are you though? Are you going to be able to do that?
I don't know.
Are they not just going to say, here's a fault light, well, I'm not moving?
I don't know.
You know, that's the thing. I don't know. But
my biggest problem that I've got with these is, as far as I'm concerned, this is the biggest monumental shift of propulsion since the internal combustion engine. As in, we had horses, and then we had something that you sat in and it got you along, whether it was steam or whether it was petrol or whatever it was an engine. This is the biggest change since that, isn't it? Because it's another way of propelling us in something that we sit in, and clearly they're getting quite popular. And I feel like they're not popular for businesses anymore. There was so much benefit that the government were pushing for businesses. It made sense to have an EV on lease, because it could cost you almost nothing if you put it through your business. Now, I feel like families like you are getting rid of these for these. And I sort of needed to know why, because it's clearly going to affect us quite largely, as it has right here. I was quite willing, it's your fault really, I was quite willing to not do this for another 5 years. And I'd be behind. Claire's been saying we need to start thinking about EVs, and I'm like, nah, it's all right, it's not happening, I don't like them. Has it changed my opinion on this one? I'm still on the fence. I don't know. Because being a man and a mechanic, I mean, man is arguable, but I was definitely a mechanic. if something doesn't start, I almost knew why. If I get in this and I push a button and it doesn't liven up, I've got to phone Elon because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is they don't seem to do that, do they? They've been around a long while now.
Yeah. Well, similarly, I've pulled a fair few cars apart over the years, but I've got to a point where I just don't want to do that, and I'm not really interested in doing that anymore. You know, if it's broken, it probably would end up going to somewhere anyway to be fixed. So, and I don't think a combustion engine car is much different these days. They all need something plugging in, so I don't really see it being any different.
And when they go wrong massively.
Yeah.
Now, it's not hundreds anymore, is it, most of the time?
No, but this is still warranted for a couple of years, so it's within those couple of years you'll know what you've got, you know, and if it is going to be a headache to live with, then it might have to go before the warranty's up. But
no, we'll buy
I'm hoping we'll get another 5-6 years out like we did the Kia, you know, and that's the plan.
I hope you do, because then I can buy it back off you and I'll be able to afford it by then. When we bought this in, if you saw the previous video, it had different wheel trims to this because he wanted to change the look of it straight away, and the difference that these wheel trims have made is phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. I can't believe a set of trims. I mean, they just didn't belong on the car, the ones before. Nothing else on the whole car was silver. Nothing.
No.
It was like a black edition without black wheels, and you've just made it what it should have been in the first place as far as I'm concerned. It's a real beautiful looking car now. So
no, it's made a big difference. I'm surprised that we're talking about wheel trims. I never thought it'd be a day that we would be, you know, even bothered about putting a set of wheel trims. It would be how quickly can we get a set of alloys on it. But
See, when I started learning about these cars, I didn't know they had wheel trims on them. As far as I was concerned, they were alloy wheels. Then I found out they were wheel trims, and I started slating sort of everything about. I can't believe that Elon has skimped on alloy wheels, but what is actually under there is a real expensive alloy wheel, but I'm guessing because he couldn't get the efficient shape because of the regenerative braking, or is it because of the efficient wind sort of aerodynamics to keep battery life? Is that they've got that design going on, haven't they? There is some alloy
you can
wheels
buy
the same
them.
sort of
Yeah,
shape.
you can buy the alloy wheels that are quite similar. Yeah, it's just a look more than anything, I suppose.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to say thanks for coming on the channel. Thanks for coming on the channel.
No worries.
Because no one comes on the channel. No one wants to. We'll let you carry on. Tell you what, we'll finish this one in a sec. We'll let him go. So the Tesla went yesterday. Everything got a little bit busy after that, and I actually forgot to make an end to that video. So you met the new owner. He's obviously now gone in the Tesla. This was yesterday. I haven't messaged him yet to see how he's getting on, but I just found his situation quite interesting. And I'd like you to comment if you're have been through a similar thing where you've had your internal combustion engine for however, and you've now converted to EV because you're fed up with the new internal combustion engines going wrong. You know, we've just made a couple of videos. There's been so many comments about people that are saying they're fed up with the newer diesels and petrols going wrong. There's just so much, and they've converted to EV. I mean, is it being done on purpose to get in EVs? I don't know. I just don't know. But I'm not there yet. I'm really not. So I'll say thanks for watching this one. Hit that subscribe button if you like what's going on. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye, bye, bye.